What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Unreal Engine 5 game development live stream where we're back in our Deck Knight project, a game built from scratch using Unreal Engine 5, C++, the blueprints, and the gameplay ability system plugin. So today we're going to continue where we left off. We're working on the cards, right? And we're trying to make sure that we can grant these cards and activate them into our active ability slots. So right now we're able to grant the cards, like turning into a fireball, and it activates, and there is some bugs where on the first launch this thing doesn't end correctly, but we'll have to figure those things out in the long term. But we have an active ability, right bumper and X lets us use the ability, but I want to see how I can correctly pass along the card data into the ability, so that I can show things like the icon, but I can also pull some information when granting the ability. Like if it has a duration, make sure the duration bar starts and it's activated when the ability starts and stuff like that. So I kind of want to start with simply just an icon, just to make sure I can pass that data along. And I'm not super confident on how to really approach this, so we're just going to look at this kind of together and figure it out. So let's find our evasive fireball. That's the gameplay effect version, so it should be this one, right? So this is the ability set, and this ability set is part of a card data asset. And the card data asset has, in addition to the ability set, some data like card icon. Let's see if we can find it, because I got some free not free assets, but assets from the from the Fab Marketplace. So we'll see if we'll find something that looks like a fireball in some sense of the word. Doesn't have to be perfect, just some representation. Maybe something like this seems reasonable. So let's just add it there. But in addition, like how I pass this along to the ability, that's the real question. Like, what does because each ability will be not really unique. I wonder if like this information should just be on the gameplay ability itself, but I feel like also the card data should be passed along. Like when we, for example, I guess the first thing too is like some of these things won't grant abilities, they would just grant gameplay effects. So like we would need to be able to somehow still tell ability slot UI that something was granted in there, so like with the passives and stuff like that. So I'm not entirely sure what to do with that. So let's just start and think about it. So let's go to card. So we have current hand, and then we have card template. Now the card template has some of the information saying when it was loaded and stuff like that. We set the text and everything as well from this card data, but the whole part where we are activating the card and the card data, maybe that's something, maybe I need to have some callback into the ability slots. So like the card, like the deck manager component has a callback for when a card is activated and something is slotted in. And then we could just pass along essentially everything. Like maybe there just needs to be a separate struct for these things. So there's like the card data, there's the card data struct, and then there's like the card something struct, and then the ability set that we would just pass in the card information struct. Maybe I'll call it card information or card info or something like that. So let's do that. So this is the base card ability set. So card data asset. Let's go in here. Let's make, so where are we declaring F card data actually? Deck data. Okay, this is, there we go. So yeah, it also comes from tibble row base so that we can make a struct out of it or table out of it. But yeah, I think it needs to be separate here. So we're going to say uStruct, different type, struct F card information, just card info. And I think it could literally just be this. Guess I would say card and then info. Hey, Hamster Chef Steam, how you doing? Thanks for your comments on the YouTube short. Yeah, I don't know why the camera was shaking. In all honesty, because maybe because I move a lot and I touch the desk a lot, and the camera's just kind of not super stable. So maybe that's it. So yeah, card type. Card. So can a struct have a struct? I think a struct can have a struct. So. Something to that effect. I think that's valid. I'm gonna have to rewrite some of these card data assets, I guess, after this sort of change. What else do we need to do? Hey! How's it going, Sharanya? Thanks for popping in and saying hello. So the next thing we gotta do, that's already gonna be a big refactor, but that's okay. We need to go into our deck manager, I think. And make some delegates. Where's the character? Components. Component. Yeah, we need to make a delegate. I always forget the syntax for this. Let me see if I can remember. So, multicast. Yeah, declare dynamic multicast delegate. One param. Or something like that. And then I guess we need a private. So I want to call this F on card activated. I think something like that makes sense. So like that, and then we gotta go into the CPP. There's this activate card, and then we can do on card. Like that. So card activate gives this. This is F card data. Oh, where did I add this? So there's F card data, and F card data is then card info, right? I think that should work. So we'll have to see. Well, let's also close out of some of this stuff. So we're in the deck manager component, deck data, card asset, yeah, basically. Okay. So let's see if that compiles first thing. I think we're also going to need to know, like, the slot that it was activated into. We'll have to see if that will work. But yeah, let's see if I'm assuming we have to rewrite all our data assets here, so let's just check. Content browser, yeah, DA underscore test card. Like, what is that? DA. This one. It's kind of all. So ability card, card icon. Ability 10, share card name. Fireball. Turn into Fireball. And then in the card itself, so card template. We're going to have to pull the right data now. Yeah, it's not going to compile, so we need to that. That. Hope that didn't break anything. So, like, yeah, the names are fucked up. Yeah, they're all gone now, but does the functionality still work? So turn into a fireball. Doesn't. How did they break this? Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Oh, maybe it's because I didn't put it in an ability slot. Yeah, no, a bit. Oh. This is the wrong one. Let's just put this one for a second. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. So that part works. And then in theory... Yo! Hey Casper, how you doing? Thanks for popping in. It's going good. Slowly working. Working on trying to pass in some data from the card itself to the ability slot that it gets activated into. So what we did so far is we kind of split the struct up into two parts. So the card data is card info and then card ability set, and then card info I want to pass along through a delegate that they can listen for inside of the ability slot primary, I guess, or it would need to be in this container potentially. Yeah, we have on ability granted, which also does something. I do wonder if I can do it this way too. maybe let's reverse this. Hold it down, flip it, reverse. So we go to activate card, then we go to activate card. And then yeah, we go into the ability set and do activate card. Can I cast this to card data asset? I guess I could. I wonder. See, we eventually get to load it and everything. Give to ability system. We eventually get to this part where we grant. We could potentially pass in the source object. Guess I would need to pass in optional stuff, right? I actually don't know what we're going to get right now. Let me see. By the way, thank you for binding abilities to input article. Helped a lot. Oh, I'm glad. There's other articles out there that probably explained it better, but thanks, man. I try to put out information that works. Okay, so this does pass in the right information. So I wonder if I could instead, well, I mean, I need to handle it when it's not even just granting an ability. So I feel like this is not the way to do it. Maybe it is. Because in theory, in this slot, you know, we could also, you know, on construct, for example, do a couple things. This could get owning player, get player state, lock that in, is valid. Player state, get, I guess I gotta cast it, right? Cast it. I can't remember if this is, yeah, it's in like C++, so we're good. So we're gonna do that. Go into that. In theory, just smash that. Now I'm hoping we can sign, but we can't. So I have to. I made it private. I don't know if I have to make this a view property or anything. Let me see if there's other examples of this in my code base. There definitely is, I just can't remember. Let's see, let's look real quick. Hey, how you doing, man? Okay, so it has to be a U property. Can it be still private, I wonder? I don't think so. It has to be public. I think U property, frequent, assignable, category. Okay. Let's see if that'll work. I don't know if I have to move it to a public scope. We'll see if this fails or not. Do you want to code a game for me for free so I can act like I did it myself and everyone thinks I'm cool? Yeah. That sounds like a sweet deal. Yeah, just hit me up, man. We'll do it. No, okay. Man, I'm in my college. Should I choose game developer as a career or work towards the regular IT fields? I guess it just depends on what you're passionate about, I guess. You know, game dev is hard. It's hard to get into. It's a hard industry to break into. So you might not be working on the things you want to work to. And, you know, I'm sure IT's the same. I'm not like 1,000% sure. Yeah, but for me, it was something I always wanted to do, and I got lucky, I think. You know, you gotta find the right people, find the right like-minded people. You have to be self-motivated and self-driven. And you gotta just go for it, I guess. You know, some colleges are good with the game development, others aren't. Like the college I went to, University of Advancing Technology, wasn't a very good one. So depends on where you're going to study for college and whether or not that degree makes sense. Man, I lost all the work I was doing in this before I closed everything. So always remember to save your work, folks. Get a lot of variables in place just in case we'll need them. Now I should be able to, hopefully now, bind to this thing. Sign on card activated, right? And we got card info. Awesome. So let me sure. Let's call back. Just activate a card. Let's see. So yeah, I do get card activated. I get it called multiple times because I am binding in the slot itself. But I think maybe it needs to happen in the container. But yeah, I would need to also know kind of like which slot this was activated. But I should know that, you know, by the time we activate, right? So maybe I need to pass in the ability set information because it should be loaded by the time I try to activate it. So yeah, activate card. I'll activate card. We get all the way here. Thanks for that. And I'm gonna follow you daily. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Always do the best you can. I hope you find success, of course. It's because I eventually call this activate card. And we get information and inside of give to ability system. And this is where we would know which abilities are granted. Man, okay. Having trouble thinking about this. What do like for the active ability slot? Like I would need to know possible cooldowns. I would need to know durations. Like card info, and then like there's card ability sets, and like potentially here I would have to say maybe I would have fields for like had a duration. It would be here maybe. Because yeah, if I'm in the container, I would need to know kind of which slot the ability being granted was put in, which, you know, we technically are doing. So maybe I can take advantage of like ordering here, because like I believe I should be able to. Let's go back to the beginning. So there should be a custom event. So instantiate ability slot. See? I wonder if I can actually do that. Let's see. So inside of containers, I wonder if I can do that, move that out of the way. We're still going to keep this, but we're going to do that. And then we're going to do a couple things. So how much am I calling this one? Find by name, so it's that. Okay. So we could, in theory, kind of do what we just did in the slot. Let's see, delete variables. Cast to cast player state. That, and then also do get deck. This one, yeah. This will be valid. Boom, boom, boom. Then get deck manager component that as well. And then I should be able to. So adding abilities to the container. This probably, yeah. I still technically have to do that, regardless if the ability system is valid or not. So I think now I can get the deck manager component and do that thing. So assign here. Just to test this. Just print string. My hope is that will work. At least, yeah, for these primary ability slots. Again, I still have concerns on, you know, does things in an active ability slot have to be abilities that are granted? Possibly. Got a kitty in the house. Oh god. Say hi. Kitty goes in the basket. So get some Z's. Okay, let's test this out. So nothing happened. Hey, thanks for the subscription. Much appreciated. So do we get this? Okay, we do. But then we don't get here, it seems, right? No. Guess if we do this, we probably get there, right? Well, seems like it just happens so fast. I wonder then, yeah, maybe. Yeah, the only thing we get from this info structure is this stuff. We don't know anything really about the ability itself. Let me look. Wait, so quench strength. Oh, you know what? I think I know why. So we broadcast this second, so maybe if I move that there. Let's see. I need to do a hot zesty reload. Find out if this works. I'm not super duper happy about it. Like maybe we can make a call back into the deck manager component with like the ability information. Like, sure, but let's just see if this works. Okay, so did I actually update everything? I did. So we did get there. So I go like this, bam, we're there. So, sort of worked. In theory, I'm hoping I can then do this. And then I would call instantiate ability slot. Leave that print string there for now. My water's almost done. So yeah, now we're here. So in theory, I'm hoping we can figure some new stuff out. Because yeah, then at this point we have to tell the system, hey, what ability type are you? Like, do you have a duration? Can like I think it's a safe assumption that things could indefinitely stack. But yeah, we'd have to figure out how that would look like. So there's wait for cooldown. Wait for ability, can't for cost. That's not going to be a thing anymore. But we should, in theory, not have to do this anymore in the beginning. But yeah, we should be able to get ability object. But yeah, instantiate ability. I think we just need this ability object. I don't think we need any of the spec handle stuff. Is there anything else doing the spec handle? So in theory, I should be able to have a function. So it's custom event, update ability slot icon. Hoping should have ability icon, right? That image, I think, or set. I don't know if it's set brush, but I guess technically, yeah, it's set brush. I also have to construct some sort of thing where I know how to revert this back when we actually use the ability, but let's that way. Set brush, texture, and the texture. I think I also should pass along card info at this point. Granted CDO is one thing, but then card info. So I need to add as well. Do I need the ability system component in some way? Later. I think it's a safe. It's never a safe assumption, but you know, we're passing that ability handle. I don't think we need at all. So set brush, we need card info. So let's add the variable here. Card info, yeah, I think we there. So in card info. So instantiate that. Should be able to hook that up. Match size. What does this mean? If true, image will change the size. No, we don't want to match size. Now I have card info. Break. I'm hoping I could just do that and it will just load. And then I should be able to say update ability slot. And I hope this will work. So we have the icon here, so we should see that flame thing when we grant this card. Moment of truth. Let's see. Okay. Technically, it worked. But I'm assuming it's not loading in time. So, yeah, we can't just do that. So we'll have to do async load asset. When it's completed, pass through texture. I don't know if it's texture or texture 2D. What is it? Texture 2D? Something like that. I think I can hide unconnected pins. Try that one time. Nothing happens. Okay, we're almost there. I swear. I'm assuming it fails this cast. So this object is unknown. Card. So card info. What do we have? On card activated event. Let's look from here. Go. Bam. Card info. The card icon is none. Am I on crazy pills? Oh. Bam. Oh. Let's see, I put a breakpoint here, right? Let's just see if it'll work this time. And it does. So now we have that icon there. And now we're a fireball. Okay. So that's full size, and then there's rounded 256. Wonder if that's the one we should use. Seems fine. Technically works. Then now I just need to think on like basically like we would have types of abilities that would need to sort of remove themselves after they're done. So, you know, we have this. Thinking out loud. Yeah, after it gets activated, we want to basically remove the ability and the icon. I know inside the ability set there is like a take from ability system, right? And we just call clear ability. But I wonder if I wonder who's responsible for removing that ability after it's been activated. If it's the type that's like a one-shot ability, you know? Is it the deck manager component that should handle it? And is there a callback when a card or an ability is, because there's a wait for this, wait for ability activation, failure. There's not like a sign. Oh no. Because there is clear ability. Like, how would the information kind of get back to it? Like, I wonder if my base ability class needs to have a delegate for when it's cleared. Well, let's try that. Yes, because we have our own base class somewhere. We can find. We have these things, then we have these ability slots. These get actor, that ability select active ability on spawn, get ability cost. Then there's these ones. So on remove ability. I don't think there's on ability removed, and then a K2 on ability removed. Maybe sorry, I'm just annoying my kitty. But the ability itself also have something that I'm broadcasting that it was removed. But also we would have to have something that we would need something to let us know that the ability ended as well. Just trying to think right now. We're just thinking right now currently just like instant ability, like one activation, one and done. I guess it has to be on like end ability first and foremost, right? Like event on end ability. I would have to get the player state and get the deck manager component. So let's see. So A, GNC, player state. Cast that. I suppose I can wrap this in an if. No. Second. Save it. Oh, do I need the deck manager component? Probably not, but let's just leave it. And then this is where I would imagine there would have to be a bunch of checks, right? Because like when we have something that's duration based, if I say you can use something for a certain amount of time, Is that really the duration of the ability itself? Or just the duration in which the duration in which you can activate the ability with some sort of cooldown? Let's just see, check cooldowns. Check. Stacks. But for now, I would say let's see if we can make something that like this, because I don't think it exists. There's like cooldown committed, ability commit. So we could make our own another one. So declare dynamic 1 param F gas course. We're gonna say ability Hey, thanks for the subscription there from YouTube. Much appreciated. Class. I guess I get to say ability. Ability clear. Hi, sorry to bother. I'm new with Unreal Engine 5. Do you have any videos that show on how to make scanner ability like Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Death Stranding? No, I don't have any videos like that. I've seen people make some tutorials on there, some showcases of like the material. Let's quickly see. Whoops. Well, there's one like Stellar Blade if you want. This person potentially. Personally, no, I haven't made one. Attempt to use deleted constructor. Does it have to be a pointer? So, property. Assignable. That, then I would say get abilities component. Your ability, and then I spec handle. I say handle. What's to say? Okay. And I have a clear ability here, right? I don't. I have remove ability, right? So what does clear ability do? On remove ability, yeah. Don't know if I will get a infinite loop or not, but let's look at it. We then call end ability, and then we call on ability remove. I'm not sure, like, I'm definitely gonna get an infinite loop, I'm pretty sure. Because when we remove an ability, if it's active, it tells it to end. And then if it's not active, it still says to end. Fairly certain we'll have problems, but let's see. Okay, so compiled successfully. That's a good sign, but again, I'm not super duper confident that this won't just absolutely break. So we'll try granting this fireball and activating it once, and we'll see if we get an infinite loop. We grant it, activate it once. Okay. No infinite loop. Oh, do we get this? So what's the call? Clear ability. Oh. It's the melee ability, right? Take out the dummy in the corner so we're not getting shit. I mean, I guess we could do it. Here. Bam. So we do get here. Do get here. And then I wonder, let's go to abilities slot, primary. We do have ability object, and it's what type? Task force, so good. Sign on ability cleared. Good. It's back to the default. Probably have to be somewhere in a data asset somewhere. Okay. And now we don't have the ability anymore. That seems to have worked. I can't dodge. Why can't I dodge? Oh, because yeah, I think I can only use an ability once. Okay, so I would need to figure out how to correctly assume that this is something that I would want to clear. For something that's like melee based, probably the base evasive should just be labeled in a way. Maybe I have to add a new enum type. So ability slot, slot, empty slot. I guess they could just be empty slots. And so when we activate a card, it could also say, you know, if ability type ability slot type. That could helpfully gate that, but yeah, let's go to where we're what's the word? Where we're activating the card and granting it. We should pass that information along because that is something you could set in the card data asset. Test card. That's right, and it's an ability card. And I feel like slot. Yeah, I think there's an ability card. Maybe in here. Yeah, active ability slot. So it's in the ability set. So ability set. I also have too many enums, I think. We'll see. So where are we giving to the ability system? Go. So we should be able to say we have spec. Don't have anything like slot type. This is spec. So there's an option give ability. Is there another like give ability? Give ability and activate. I think I can do that here with the source object. And I say I'm going to say if I think that's it. So I don't know if it's safe or not, but we'll see. Don't know if I needed to stop playing, but let me. There. Well, let's see if this works. I have to see if I definitely don't think I architected this very well. Seems like there's still a lot of convoluted things happening. So yeah, I'm curious how I would handle duration-based logic, how I would handle stacks. That could be a future Devin problem, not a today problem. I hope. So in theory, if I dodge, it'll hit the breakpoint, but it shouldn't pass through. So ability slot type should be empty. Which is. But now I should. Oh, that's also blocking. Now if I grant this and I do this, we should get there. So it seems, oh. Now I'm able to dodge all that stuff. That sort of works. So now I want to figure out if I wanted this to be duration based, and then if I wanted it to be, you know, by default stack based. But maybe that'll be something we can do next time. Because how I would imagine it is, yeah, maybe. You know, you have card level here, but there could be like, maybe not under level, but you know, some other category we could have, you know, default stacks, duration, cooldown, and then, you know, it could potentially just quote unquote work in the words of our Lord and Savior Todd Howard, as Luke Stevens would say. Sorry, I'm just being a kitty. So yeah, we got a good amount done. We're gonna also eventually have to see what it's like to yeah, maybe have some callbacks for when like an ability is activated, so that like the UI could react. Maybe this thing can like shoot up, or maybe when it's slotted in, it does some sort of animation. Maybe we could try that first, because we already have animations for like gain ability stack, which is a different animation. There is a usability stack, but then there's like a fail on cooldown thing. There could be, maybe we can reuse that one. We could just see what that looks like. So like instantiate ability slot as an example. We could play that animation. I think it's under animations. So play montage. No, play animation. With finish event, just in case. Yourself here. Obviously, it's not going to be the right animation. Could technically work. But when I grant it, we should see that thing animate. Which we do, yeah. And then we use it, then it could work like that. But like there could be we'll have to see. Trying to think in my head what else we can do, because you know we've already been streaming for an hour. We might call it a night. Well, I think, you know, it's promising. So yeah, I think that's what I'll call it. Next time we'll try to introduce duration based and default stack based, and then we'll see if we can stack cards in ability slots. So if we have an ability slotted in already and we activate a card that has the same ability already slotted in, we can add a stack to it. And we'll see how that could possibly update. So yeah, that's what I'm going to call it. Thanks for watching, everybody. It's very much appreciated. If you aren't already following me, make sure to follow here on Twitch or subscribe on YouTube. It'll be all appreciated. Also join our Discord, of course. Show your support where you can. We'll be back on Thursday. So I'll look forward to seeing you guys then. Enjoy your night, and I'll see you soon.